Welcome back. I'm your host, Cerise Fairfax. Today we're going to talk about the developing news in the Dominican Republic. We have a little bit of crime that we're going to talk about, but we also have some positive developments in economic standards. Guys, buckle up, sit back. Let's talk about the news today in the Dominican Republic. There are a lot of Dominican call centers. When a lot of people contact me from around the world, they're foreigners, and they ask for jobs that are in the Dominican Republic that pay a little bit better than the bar jobs, the restaurant jobs. Usually they ask me about the call centers. Well, one call center here has been busted, and they have been doing fraud on the elderly. We're going to talk about that story today. U.S. federal authorities have revealed a disturbing international fraud scheme that used Dominican soil to prey on vulnerable elderly Americans. 13 individuals have been charged for operating a call center operation in the Dominican Republic that tricked hundreds of elderly victims in the United States into believing their grandchildren needed emergency money. Here's how this cruel scam worked. Criminals would call elderly Americans pretending to be their grandchildren or grandchildren's friends, claiming they were in jail, had been in an accident, or needed immediate money for legal problems. The scared grandparents, believing their family members were in danger, would send thousands of dollars through wire transfers or gift cards. This type of criminal activity hurts the Dominican Republic's international reputation and makes it harder for legitimate Dominican businesses to build trust with the American customers and partners. When Dominican territory is used for international fraud, it damages relationships that benefit honest Dominican workers and exporters. The investigation shows strong cooperation between Dominican and U.S. law enforcement agencies to combat transnational crime. For Dominican families, this case demonstrates why it's important to report suspicious job opportunities that involve calling foreigners or handling money transfers, as these could be fronts for criminal operations that ultimately harm our country's standing in the world. Now, of course, this is not to put down every call center in the Dominican Republic. There are some very honest call centers, and they do some very reputable work. Just make sure that if you are a Dominican or if you are a foreigner and you've been hired to work in a call center, if it sounds suspicious, then most likely it is. Here's some good news in tourism right now in the Dominican Republic. July broke records. The Dominican Republic has achieved an unprecedented tourism milestone that directly benefits working families across the country. Tourism Minister David Collado announced that 863,000 international visitors arrived by airplane during July 2025, setting an all-time monthly record for the Dominican tourism industry. For everyday Dominicans, this tourism boom means jobs, jobs, and more jobs. For example, when tourists visit the Dominican Republic, they need hotel workers, restaurant staff, tour guides, taxi drivers, souvenir vendors, cleaning services, security guards, and countless other services that provide income for Dominican families. Each tourist typically spends money at multiple businesses during their stay, creating a ripple effect throughout the local economy. The record-breaking numbers show that international confidence in Dominican Republic as safe and beautiful and welcoming as a destination continues to grow. This success comes from years of investment in airport infrastructure, hotel development, and marketing campaigns that showcase the beaches, culture, tradition, and hospitality to the world. Minister Collado emphasized that this achievement represents not just numbers, but real economic impact for Dominican communities from Puerto Plata and Santiago in the north to La Romana and Punta Cana in the east, and everywhere in between where tourism creates opportunities for local entrepreneurs and workers. Tourists are very important to the Dominican Republic, and tourists love coming here to the Dominican Republic. As we speak right now, there's more and more tourists that are coming to Sosua. They're changing it to be a family-friendly town. As a matter of fact, this coming Saturday is going to be a street fair. On Pedro Clasante, they will be closing down the entire street. There will be jumping castles and face painting and wonderful foods being served from the local bars and restaurants. This is an exciting time because Operation Atlantico, which I will be updating you on later on in the newscast, has affected Sosua in a positive way. Yes, it's true. In the first month, tourism was definitely affected. Now that some scaling back has happened, people are now coming back to Sosua. They are enjoying the restaurants and the bars and the beaches. And not only that, people are enjoying the new Sosua. If you're planning on coming to Sosua, please don't hesitate. There's a lot of planning that's going on to make sure you as a tourism is safe, happy, and will have lots of events to attend. Minimum wage workers in the Dominican Republic can now purchase more chicken. Once upon a time, the president called it the Platano Index. Now we are talking about something called the Chicken Index. Let's get more into that story. President Luis Abinader has introduced a creative new way to measure whether Dominican families are actually better off economically, despite individual price fluctuations for specific goods. His Pollo Index, which means chicken index, measures how many pounds of chicken a minimum wage worker can afford to buy, showing that purchasing power has improved since his administration began. In simple terms, President Abinader is challenging critics who focus on the rising price of individual items by looking at the bigger picture. If your minimum wage paycheck can buy more chicken, which is a basic protein that most families consume here regularly in the Dominican Republic, today than it could in 2020, then your economic situation has actually improved, even if chicken costs more per pound. The president replaced his previous Platano Index, or Plantain Index, that he introduced in 2023 during debates over rising plantain prices. He especially said, "Don't just look at the price on the tag. Look at how much food your salary can buy and how much you can actually put on your family's table compared to before." This approach focuses on what economists call real purchasing power, the ability of working families to afford basic necessities. Abinader is arguing that his economic policies have improved wages and employment opportunities enough to more than offset price increases, resulting in Dominican families being able to afford better nutrition and living standards overall. It is true that the chicken prices have gone up. And it is also true that Dominicans love chicken and rice and beans and platano and also salad. It is called la bandera, which you will get a main meat, you will get your rice, you will get your beans, and you will get your salad. And Dominicans love it. It is a staple here in the Dominican Republic. But it is also true that more and more Dominicans are able to put more chicken on their table. Whether that means more jobs or whether that means more paycheck, I don't know. I can't say myself, but I can let you know that Dominicans are still eating, and nobody that I know here in Sosúa or on the North Coast is starving. Many people may want more. Many people desire more. However, no Dominican that I know of is starving, not during the pandemic or after. There's been a major drug bust. 33 kilograms of cocaine found in pineapples. Dominican anti-drug authorities have scored a significant victory against international narcotics trafficking, demonstrating the ongoing battle to prevent criminals from using their legitimate export industry for illegal purposes. The National Drug Control Directorate and Specialized Airport Security seized 33 kilograms of suspected cocaine hidden inside boxes of pineapples at Punta Cana International Airport, destined for Frankfurt, Germany. The seizure is particularly important because it shows how drug traffickers tried to exploit the Dominican Republic's growing reputation as a reliable supplier of tropical fruits to European markets. The Dominican Republic agriculture exporters work hard to build relationships with international buyers, and criminal operations like this threaten to damage that legitimate trade that provides jobs for thousands of Dominican farming families. The operation involved multiple agencies working together: the DNCD agents, the Specialized Airport Security Corps, custom inspectors, and highly trained drug detection dogs. This coordinated approach demonstrates the Dominican government's commitment to protecting the airports and ports from being used as transit points for South American cocaine heading to the European and North American markets. For communities that depend on agriculture exports, successful operations like this one help maintain the Dominican Republic's reputation as a trustworthy trading partner. When international buyers can be confident that the Dominican shipments contain only legitimate products, it protects and expands market opportunities for honest farmers and exporters who follow the law. The popular tourist town of Sosúa has been undergoing major changes, as many of you do know. And right now, I'm going to update you. The popular North Coast destination of Sosúa is undergoing a dramatic transformation that local leaders describe as essential for the community's economic future. Local authorities are implementing a comprehensive plan to shed negative stereotypes and pivot toward family-friendly tourism, complete with enhanced security measures and community-led planning initiatives. For families living and working in Sosúa, this transformation represents hope for better economic opportunities in legitimate tourism businesses. The initiative, described by officials as Better Times for Sosúa, focuses on attracting cruise ship visitors and international families rather than the problematic tourism that has given the area the negative reputation in recent years. The changes include upgraded infrastructure, improved safety measures, and a growing real estate market that's bringing new investment to the local area. Local business owners are being encouraged to develop services and attractions that appeal to families with children, couples seeking romantic getaways, and adventure tourists interested in the area's natural beauty. The transformation effort is being closely watched by other Dominican tourism destinations because it demonstrates how communities can work together with government support to change their image and attract higher quality tourism that benefits local residents rather than exploiting them. Success in Sosúa could serve as a model for similar improvements in other areas. Many Dominican families here in Sosúa that I have spoken to are very excited about the changes that they are about to embark on. Many of them agree that it may take some time. Others agree that as this change takes place, some jobs are being lost, some people are laid off, but they can see that this change will not take as long as what they thought it would a month ago. Residents of Sosúa are seeking immediate results from the government's commitment to improving security in the popular tourist destination. Colonel Alcantara, the new commander of the National Police in Sosúa, personally led a large-scale nighttime security operation in the Maranata sector, demonstrating the new leadership's hands-on approach to maintaining public safety. For families and business owners in Sosúa, this type of direct police leadership represents a significant change from previous approaches to law enforcement in the area. When the police commander personally participates in operations rather than just giving orders from an office, it sends a strong message that security is a top priority and that officers are expected to be actively engaged with the community. The operation focused on maintaining security and collective well-being, which includes not just preventing crime, but also ensuring that residents and tourists feel safe walking the streets, conducting business, and enjoying the area's beach and attractions. This approach recognizes that economic development and public safety go hand in hand. Local residents have expressed optimism about the new police leadership, particularly because the enhanced security measures are being implemented alongside the broader community transformation efforts to attract family-friendly tourism and legitimate business developments to the area. Many tourists who come here for the past type of tourism are finding other ways to find that personal intimacy that they appreciate with the beautiful Dominican women. And of course, although it is not exploited in the streets any longer, it is still being explored in private, more discreet ways. Baseball star Julio Rodriguez has done something very special for our home in Cabarete. Dominican baseball fans have another reason to feel proud of their players' success in Major League Baseball, as one of the sport's rising stars demonstrates the importance of giving back to the Dominican communities. Seattle Mariners superstar Julio Rodriguez recently helped rebuild a family's home in Cabarete during his charitable visit to the Dominican Republic. For the Cabarete community, this type of direct assistance from successful Dominican athletes represents more than just charity. It's a powerful example of how Dominican talent that succeeds internationally can make a real difference in the lives of ordinary families back home. Rodriguez didn't just write a check. He actually participated in the physical work of rebuilding. This story highlights the strong connection that many Dominican Major League players maintain with their home communities. Even after achieving fame and fortune in the United States, Rodriguez, who signed a massive contract extension with the Seattle Mariners, could easily forget about his roots. But instead, he's choosing to use his success to directly help Dominican families in need. The Cabarete Home Rebuilding Project is part of Rodriguez's broader philanthropic efforts in the Dominican Republic, showing young Dominicans that success in sports or any field should include responsibility to help others in your community to achieve better living conditions and opportunities for advancement. A U.S. military commander visited the Dominican Republic to help strengthen defense here on this island. Dominican Republic's strategic relationship with the United States continues to strengthen through high-level military cooperation that benefits both nations' security interests. Commander Navy Admiral Alvin Holsey visited the Dominican Republic August 7th to the 8th, meeting with top Dominican defense leaders to reaffirm the long-standing military partnership between both countries. For Dominican families, this military cooperation translates into enhanced national security, better equipment for training for Dominican armed forces, and increased opportunities for Dominican military personnel to receive advanced training in the United States. The partnership also strengthens the Dominican Republic's ability to combat drug trafficking, human trafficking, and other transnational crimes. The timing of Admiral Holsey's visit demonstrates continued U.S. commitment to Caribbean security at a time when regional challenges include the ongoing crisis in Haiti, increased drug trafficking routes, and the need for coordinated responses to natural disasters like hurricanes and earthquakes. This type of military partnership also brings economic benefits through defense contracts, joint training, exercises that bring U.S. military personnel to the Dominican facilities, and technology transfers that have civilian applications in areas like communications, logistics, and emergency response capabilities. That's today's news for the Dominican Republic. Thank you so much for joining me. Please go ahead, hit that like button, and don't forget to subscribe for more Dominican news. I'm your host, Cerise Fairfax. I have other channels on YouTube that I would love for you to explore. I have a crime channel called Fairfax Files. I also have an entertainment channel called Sister Cerise. I have a spiritual channel where I talk about relationships and living a better life called The Fifth Dimension with Cerise. I invite you to join me on all of those platforms, and I look forward to seeing you. I'll see you next video. Please be good to yourself out there. You deserve it. And remember, tomorrow is not promised, so make the best of today. Have an amazing day. Bye-bye.